So we're going to speak about marketing, we're going to speak about the mindset, we're going to speak about clients. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for you guys to remember as we get started is this word, connections. Connections within our heads and connections between us and our clients and the people next to us. Okay? Because that is what marketing essentially is. All we're doing is we're building connections, right? We're building connections in people's brains and we're building connections with each other and our clients. Okay? So the brain, if you study neuroscience, right? The science of the brain. Honali the brain cells, right? And the way we formulate thoughts is that there are electrical signals from one brain cell to the other via synapses, what's called synapses in the brain, okay? When we reinforce these electrical signals, in other words, if we consume content or we read something, the more we consume, the more we read, the stronger these signals become, right? So that by default, if someone says, just do it, you already think Nike. Because the messaging has been consistently communicated to strengthen the connection within your brains, right? So Lerona, the most important thing as we unpack, what I want you to start thinking about is the connections that you want your clients to have with your business through the messaging that you consistently communicate. And I'm going to challenge you that entrepreneurship is the science of learning. As entrepreneurs, all we do is we continuously learn, and then we take what we learn and we find commercially viable ways to build entities around. In other words, the more we learn, the easier it becomes for us to build sustainable, scalable brands and businesses. Okay? And learning is key in marketing because you constantly have to be learning about the marketplace. You have to learn about your customers first and foremost. You have to learn about your competitors. You have to learn about your suppliers. You have to learn about your entire supply chain and entire value chain. You have to consistently, continuously be learning. Right. Now, good news is that the brain is malleable. Plastic, right? There's what's called neuroplasticity. Okay? It means that there is nothing that you cannot learn. Right? Some of you did dismally in maths. I'm not going to call you out. In high school. Right? Because you told yourself that you're not good at maths. Right? And the person that was teaching you maths was teaching it uniformly in one way. However, we learn differently. And given enough time, with the right means and ways of learning, anyone can learn how to do maths. Right? The same is true when it comes to building businesses. Our customers learn very differently. When we understand how our customers learn, it becomes easier for us to build the right connections. Okay? So I challenge you that everything that we unpack, the onus is on you to dig a bit deeper, to do the research, to learn, to take this information and internalize it so that it becomes applicable in your business. But the crux of it is you need to get as close as possible to your customers. You need to get as close as possible to the decision makers within the businesses that you want to do business with. Okay? That's the crux. You need to get close. You can't be an entrepreneur and you spend most of your time in your office. Most of your time as an entrepreneur needs to be with clients or prospective clients, right? You need to be close, right? So when we speak about building connections and also relationships with people. And predominantly of you, when you mentioned your businesses, you guys are business-to-business service providers, right? In other words, your clients are businesses themselves that serve other people, okay? In these environments where you are servicing businesses, relationships are your currency. Show me a relationship, and I will show you your business, right? So your ability to build connections, critical. If you can't build connections with people, you can't build a business. Right? That's the main crux of the marketing plan strategy. It's all premised on the connections and relationships that we build. The other thing when it comes to connections is associations. Associations, right? People like to associate with different things for whatever reason. For whatever reason. Okay? Our job as entrepreneurs is to understand those associations so that we can use them. Okay? Let's do practical examples. Okay? Why are you dressed the way you are dressed today? Look at yourself. Look at the clothes that you are wearing. Right? No one pointed a gun to your head and said, hey, you wear this or you die. You decided. Right? You decided that these are the clothes. You walked into a shop and you decided. What do you think prompted you to buy? It's the associations you want to build. Right? You want to be perceived a certain way. Subconsciously, whether you like it or not, you want people to look at you and form some kind of judgment based on how you look. Right? The same is true with our businesses. Based on how our businesses look, clients are going to form perceptions. Now, if you're writing, please write this down. Perceptions are more powerful than reality. The reality is Kay could have a fantastic marketing company, right? Black Brick could be a phenomenal enterprise, right? The reality is they could do outstanding work, right? And help their clients achieve meaningful results. But if we see her business, whether we see her logo, whether we see her website, whether we meet her, and for whatever reason, the perception is that this is poor quality, right? Even if the reality is she can do the job, we're not going to trust her with the business because the perception is more powerful than reality, right? So our job as entrepreneurs, as marketers, is we're trying to influence perceptions. We're trying to make sure that how we look matches with the associations we want to drive. Based on how you look, I start making subjective judgments. Based on how your logo looks, based on how your profile looks, based on how your proposal looks, I start making subjective judgments. When you walk into my office as a procurement officer and you're late or you're early, you dressed a certain way, how you greet me, I start making subjective judgments, right? Perceptions. The other thing that drives connections is repetition. Repetition, okay? Some of you have wonderful businesses, fantastic businesses, right? But you're not promoting your business. We promote a high one, and then that's it, right? Associations are driven by continuous driving of repetition, messages, right? That's why these large brands still advertise today. Coca-Cola, all these big brands that we know and love still drive their messaging because they understand that repetition drives connections. The other thing is language. Language. All right? Language. So, angere la sutla skhwasa ka se monatiang. Eloquent, articulate, clear, right? It's because I spend a lot of time reading, right? I read a lot of books because I like reading, okay? I'm socially awkward by default. Books are my escape. I also love learning. I also love learning about people, how they think. I also love learning about business, about marketing. So I spend a lot of my time reading. okay? That is what helps me be able to connect with people much more meaningfully, right? Reading helps my vocabulary, okay? So as entrepreneurs, right, you guys are the custodians of your brand and business. If language yachao yanteng, it means that the perception of your business is going to be a business entenga, right? So the onus is on you to do the work, to continuously upskill yourself, to learn, right? Your brain does not stop having the ability to learn until you die. You can research it, neuroplasticity, okay? But it's a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes, okay? And in this marketing journey that we are gonna go on, marathon. When it comes to peak performance, it's not about intensity. Marathon in one go. I just want you every day to run 200 meters, every day. I'm not asking you to read a book in a day. I'm asking you to read a paragraph, 3 lines every single day, right? Because if you're consistent in doing the small things well, in the long run, you're able to build a personal brand for yourself and a strong, credible brand for your business, right? That's the essence of marketing. It's not difficult. The challenge is that it needs discipline to do small things consistently. But you guys want to live your lives the same way you binge series, huh? When I sit one time, watch the entire thing. That's not how life works, especially in business, okay? You need to have the language of business people, right? So that you sound credible. You sound like someone who knows what they're talking about. You have the confidence to articulate your value proposition clearly, right? Both in what you say with your mouth and how you present yourself in terms of your body language. Now, what's important in building brands is your messaging that you consistently drive, because perceptions are more powerful than reality. People see a message, they drive associations, then they buy. Who here drives a Benz? Not yet. It's coming though. It's coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming, all right? If you buy a Benz, all right? You're buying a Benz not because you want to go from point A to point B. You're buying a Benz because there's an association you want to drive. When you pull up at a certain place and you pull up in your Benz, there's a certain perception people are going to have of you before you even say anything, right? That's the power of associations, right? I want you to have brand images, brand perceptions, brand positioning that create this perception of credibility before you even say anything.